I'd rather stay with you guys. Hey, it's Sonia, it's Matt, it's Stanley, it's Tiki, it's the whole family. Minus the whole.
DOS cookie.
It's cookie and tea time, and
Absolutely.
Stanley's here. You see, come over. Yeah, show him. I'm not making. Oh, this. You know what? I think I just invented something. So I made a tea, and I put this on top of it to block it, but it warmed up my cookie.
Yeah.
And that's how evolution happens. We have fire. Anybody out there? Kitty, can you sit down? You don't like bergamot, Earl Grey tea. I know you don't. He has what?
How do you know he doesn't have any?
Oh, although he keeps trying. I think it's the bergamot. His nose flares. He goes, oh, buddy. It's very hot. It will burn your nose off.
Scusa.
Would you be so kind as to
Scusi.
unplug the
He's
fountain?
fine.
I just realized. I know it's probably kind of loud. Christy, how are you? Oh, thanks for being on my live. Love your work. I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. I do believe that you should do whatever it is. If you are also a creative, just do whatever you love. And I promise and guarantee that there will be people who you will find that will love exactly what you do, and that is the goal. They're just out there looking for what you do and would love to follow you as well. And that applies to pretty much any niche. The baby. We have a fountain that Matt built here in the shop.
It's 10 foot tall.
It's beautiful. There may be floating eyeballs into it right now. We had a Halloween party at the end of October. We've been partying. That's why you haven't seen me so much. I've been out thrifting. October was very
so much,
busy.
Stanley's wore out.
I know, kitty, kitty. Stanley looks how I feel. But the fountain may or may not be filled with eyeballs.
It was glowy too.
We had our helper here at the shop, and she's like, I have some I have some eyeballs. Can I put that in for when we have our dance? Can I put that in the fountain? And we're like, yeah, sure, right? We'll have some fun. Hey, T, how are you? T, I'm having some tea. And so anyhow, and Matt went and he dyed the well so it glowed green, and we had a glow party in here. You might even find like glow streamers stuck around, little Easter eggs of the fun that we had. We cleared the entire shop, and me and Matt just put it in other rooms, and then crazy like we are, we opened the next day, a little bit late, but we got up and we put everything back in place. I thought I was going to die.
But we do.
I'm going to think we do that. This was our third annual one, and I'm going to think that it's going to be probably like, childbirth, where there's enough time that passes because, there's many people with more than one child, but the brain is a wonderful thing where it will, you can remap some really old traumatic injuries, right? Memories. And so maybe by next year I will remember, I will forget and be like, oh yeah, but I remember we had such a great time. We should definitely do that again. And then absolutely kill myself to do it. It's a vicious cycle, but what are you going to do? Oh, Teresa, thanks for letting me know. T, she's under the guise. I see ya. So we're at the shop, and we are in the last hour stretch before we close. If you've had a brick and mortar store, you know how that works. Reservations, well, they're not a thing, so you are open. We're open 7 days a week currently, and have been so for a very, very long time. And so sometimes we do see people right in the last little hour of the day. They pop in, they grab their incense, something that they need on the way home. But today I'm not sure, because if you saw outside right now, as we say in Newfoundland, dude, yeah, I was in the back and Matt messaged me and he's like, hey, come here, I want to show you something. It was like, it kind of reminded me, what's that movie with Will Smith and the UFO? Independence Day, yeah. And I think there's a part of it where like the cloud of like with the UFO, yes, remember that? Where they wake up in the morning, there's the shadow that like comes over their house, like something's overhead. Except it was a barrier of like a dark cloud that was moving. I'm like, okay, the aliens, they've come out of the ocean now. These are their friends from the sky. They're about to land here all together, or else it could be that storm. So we're up here, of course, on Lake Erie, and yeah, it's about to be that time. We've sent in our snow contract. We've Got that nailed down.
We've been putting it off.
I know. Well, I confirmed with the guy, and then of course he sent me the contract. I'm like, absolutely, do it again for us this year, and I'll go ahead and I'll get that signed and sent over to you. Well, when you have 1,000,001 things, you know, sometimes that's the last thing. But then when you hear there's snow in the forecast, what mat are they turning in here? Yep, we do. We have some customers coming in. Act like nice, normal people, okay? Now that we've turned the well off, the music off. You can turn the music down real low. How about that? So that they're not walking around in like dead silence. Just really, really. There we go. Perfect. All right, so there's going to be somebody eavesdropping on our conversation. What are you going to do? Speaking of spaceships, do you remember we went to Roswell multiple times? We love Roswell. I have a dream for the future where we'll travel around and we'll see all the parts of the country and we'll do fun things like paint in the Sedona Mountains, okay? Hold me to it, will ya? But when we went to Roswell, multiple times we went there, we picked Pecos diamonds along the Pecos River. We had the most amazing barbecue there. Remember we thrifted? I was like, what is a Goodwill like in Roswell? I must go and find out. So did all those things. That was so fun. But this was what I got for myself, okay? Do you see? It says, ship happens at Roswell, New Mexico. So I thought that was pretty cute. You know, I do like the aliens. Oh, I can't tell them if they're leaving again or what. They just didn't want to get out of their car, maybe. So anyway, I started to tell you that we got a storm right now. So I'm not sure if we'll see people actually get out of their car. It looks like they're driving with the leaves into the rainstorm. You know, I think it said that we're supposed to have some snow tonight. It is cold, yeah. Today was a really warm, sunny day. Isn't it funny how they say that there is like a calm before the storm? Yeah, you said that. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna do some maintenance, right, on our vehicles. Nope, not at all. This is my favorite peanut butter cookie right now. You haven't put your heat on yet? Teresa. Teresa. Oh my gosh. No, we're in cold. We're gone now to the cold side up here. So now it's like, you know, if you get a warm day, then it's the like, oh wow, it's warm out today. Isn't that awesome? But anyway, it's the last little bit of the day. I'm not anticipating we're going to see a ton of people because it is so ugly outside right now. I think there's snow tonight. So we're going to have some tea and a cookie. And then we're going to close up. Probably go to the gym. Mm-hmm. I don't mind leg day. That is one part of my body I feel I'm pretty strong on. I don't like shoulders though. I've had a shoulder injury where I had a yard sale and I decided I was going to sell first, but then I was going to sell the treadmill, which by the way it did sell, but I had it at a Matt's family member's house here in the U.S. and because she lived on Main Street and she's like, oh, if you're going to do that, feel free to come down and use my yard. And I think she ended up bringing stuff out. Anyway, I decided I was going to have a treadmill for sale. And because we know we buy treadmills and we don't use them. So then I'm like, well, how am I going to get the treadmill in the back of the truck? Very carefully by myself is what I'm going to do, because it was just me and Riley there at that time. And I was, we're just going to do it. I did it. And I basically, I don't know, I feel like I lost an arm. It ended up me going to like the chiropractor and a doctor, getting x-rays, and it was a rotator cuff injury. So then I had to do the exercises, where you crawl like a spider up with your arm just to be able to raise your arm again when you take a hot shower. That was one of the exercises. I had to put your arm out like this here with your fingers and like try to move them up the wall to like get your motion back again. Yeah. Ask me how I know. Matt's dad had some issues and I'm like, tell him to do the spider exercise. Do you remember that? Yeah. I told you to tell your dad there's this big storm coming a couple hours south of here, which is where Matt is from. And they're supposed to get a lot of snow tonight. It starts tonight. I think we're under some sort of advisory up here at Lake Erie until Saturday. But I'm like, tell your dad, get his toilet paper, get the groceries. He lives by himself and he's older, so it's not just a rush. It's like, it's important to be prepared so you don't have to go out into it, right? I remember mailing Matt's father toilet paper during the whole COVID thing, right? Remember that, the whole toilet paper thing? I know, I'm sorry I triggered you. Do you have any plans to go back to Canada? Yes. So I've been talking with my family, and there's been a few times, believe it or not, I was adding up, and I'm pretty sure it's been 7 years since I've been back to the island. Isn't that insane? And for those of you who watched me when I went up then, that was like 7 years ago. And our shop was in Ligonier. We were full into the Junk Monkey paint at that time. And I remember I was vlogging regularly, and I'm like, I'm gonna go visit home. Now my parents, my sister has been down to visit me down here, but it's my turn to go back. And actually, it was right around 2020, that summer, that I had planned to go up, and then COVID happened, and then everything stayed put. And then when we got out of the other side of that, we decided to reopen a physical store again. And then, like I said, if you know anything about having a physical, let alone a new store that you're rebuilding, because so many changes happened with our existing business. So it was like learning again from scratch and reestablishing. And so there was never really a good time, you know, you were training staff. There was always something going on that just never allowed me to get back. And the other thing is that I'm not somebody who loves to fly. I hate to fly. I did a lot of flying earlier on, and I stopped, and I just lost my nerve. And now I was flying during 9/11. I was coming down to the US to visit Matt, North Carolina. So I've got some memories from that. And I'm also very claustrophobic. So it takes me a lot. Like I gotta really suck it up. So to get on a plane again. I pity the person that sits next to me. I think the last time I flew, I had to do like this is when I was still in the corporate world before I left, and I'm like, we're gonna do business myself here on my own terms. But I had to I think I went to Florida, Orlando for some training. And I went with some other people in the organization. And actually they were with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was the company I worked for was owned by Bob Nutting of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so that was a really cool experience. I learned a lot about running business and, you know, working with such a high-end sports professional organization. But anyway, it was really funny because, you know, I'm in one portion of the business. They are in the Pittsburgh portion, and everything got booked from Pittsburgh. And they're like, oh yeah, so it was me and two other people from the offices, and we're like, yo, we're gonna go down, we've got this customer service training thing we're gonna do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate to fly. But okay, if I'm going with you, I'll go with you. I'll just suck it up, you know? Well, don't you know that their receptionist got the cheapest flights, cheapest tickets, and we were all spread apart. I was like next to the bathroom. It was horrible. It was bad. Have you ever had that seat, that one single seat that sits across from the bathroom? That was me, yeah. And so anyhow, for many reasons, it just was not delightful. Anyway, but I could like wave way up to the front of the plane. And that was being claustrophobic. I was like, if I'm with somebody else, okay, I think my nerves can be okay. But the second thing was, if you're claustrophobic, what you don't want to do is be in the back of the plane. Like if I was booking a ticket, I would not put myself in the back of the plane because then I can see all the people and all the heads. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I would rather be up closer, maybe have a window seat. It was nothing like that back there. I was in a closet, it felt like. But anyway, I survived, I made it, I sucked it up, I got there. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so funny. Just thinking other things that happened on that flight. But anyhow, got there, and I'm like, okay, sounds good, we're good, right? And then we get to the hotel, and they're like, okay, yeah, none of our rooms are together. I'm like, oh my gosh. So now like we're down here, we'd see each other literally at the conference, and we break off, and like, you knew nobody, right? I did make friends. But anyhow, it's like, so I was in the hotel in this room by myself. And so if my nerves came down, like, okay, I'll just get back to the room. Well, don't you know that in this big hotel that they had put us, Of course I didn't get no open like window view. I was on the inside part of the atrium where you could like look out and see the people checking in down there, like the inner circle of windows. I'm like, oh, no fresh air. Like, oh, I'm just gonna die. I don't know, dry out up here. And then guess what happened? They lost power. Okay, now have you ever been in a hotel? Claustrophobic. You just got off the plane, you survived, okay? You check into the hotel, you don't know anybody, you're on the interior room, and the hotel loses complete power. Everything is black. There is no natural light to look out, so you are in a black hole. Well, I thought I was going to die. Made it through that. had a wonderful conference, and then like it was a bunch of days, and then like 2 days, a day before, they were like, yeah, we're kind of bored. I think we're just gonna leave and go back early. So you're okay with that? We're just gonna fly together. We're just like, we'll get our seats and we'll just like change the booking to go early. You're good, right? I'm like, sure, absolutely, I'm good. So I stayed in Orlando 1 extra day, and then flew back on the plane myself into some like seat that I never selected and had no control over, lost the people I was flying with, which was one of the things that kind of consoled me. And I remember on the way back, there was a man that I sat next to, and I was weird. Like, I had to be weird because I'm like, in order for me to get back home at this point and survive, I need to have a conversation with whoever is sitting next to me. And there was this like biker guy, and he was sitting next to me, and I was asking him every question under the sun, anything to distract myself. And I just had like a 2.5 hour flight home, but I asked him like about his family, what he did, why he was traveling. Anyhow, I figured I'd never see this guy again. So, anyhow, he was probably like, wow, I have sat next to a really chatty Kathy and she will not shut up. But he had no idea what I'd been through. Tell me if you're picking up what I'm laying down. What do you think, Matt? Could you have survived?
Maybe.
Oh, incoming. Somebody is out there braving all the wind. Yeah, they're in the wind tunnel right now. They're, what do you call it when decompressing in the foyer? You open the door and the door goes shh. Oh, they're waiting for some people. They're all fixing their hair. Takes a minute, So anyhow.
Hey, how are you guys? Hello.
Hey guys, welcome in. So today I was busy. I've been doing a challenge for myself to paint every single day. In my last 2 videos, you've seen what I've been doing. I'm working on my ornaments. I'm doing 100 ornaments, and also I just want to get back into painting daily. You guys know that I love to paint for many reasons. But yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do. And so I want to get more into my canvas art. And so I'm challenging myself to paint for the next 30 days. And so on here, I'll come on live or just shoot a video and show you what I'm working on if you want some inspiration. But here's what I did today. And I'm just sitting down doing these, just, you know how I just wing it out and kind of just do it. And just spurred a moment, kind of coming out with a design. Does anybody know who this man is? Pretty cool, right? My little cozy Santa. It's still drying right now, but I do love how it turned out. Tell me if you do too. So that was my art practice for today. And I've had this frame for a long time. I've showed it, but I want to show you how awesome it would be. I think it would be. I'm gonna take out what was in it and also the glass. I will put a glass like this on my table that I paint on because you can scrape it off after. So if you have any glass, that's always really nice. But I do believe that this is an 8x10. This is one of the reasons. I used to take toll painting classes way back in the day. And I just remember that being such an awesome time in my life, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was so funny, not funny. But this past week, I found these 2 vintage toll painting books. And so I went ahead and I'm like, I'm gonna get these. I love these. I remember wanting these but I didn't have the money to be able to buy them back then in the day. And so I'm like, now fast forward to the future, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, they're like $10 a book, and they're vintage now. And I said to Matt, I'm like, I think I'm gonna get these books. The only thing is, they're only in Canada. And that was last week. I said, although I shouldn't order them, right? They're in Canada. It might take a little bit for them to get here. He goes, no, like, they should be fast. She's not too far from the border. You'll probably have them like next week. And I think it gave me a date. And he's like, yeah, look at the date. And like, he's like, they'll be there before you know it. The next day, so I purchased. I got a ship tracking number, and then immediately got an email. And they said that Canada Post is on strike. So my toll painting books are held up. And I'm like, see, that's my luck. And I said to Matt, I looked at him and I said, yeah, it won't be that long, right? This should be good. Did you find the kitty, Stanley? All right, how sweet is that? So you don't need a frame if you use one of the panels, like glass in front of it. I just think that's beautiful. Just shabby art, so cute. And then, you know, just to put that around your house. I am so happy with Santa. I'm in love with Santa. Tell me what you think. So yeah, I've been doing that painting challenge, and so you'll see me on here daily. If it's not an uploaded video, it'll be me just kind of going live like this. Tell me if you want to hang out and paint along. Yesterday I did the whimsical tree. I have a bunch of things that I picked up that I picked it up with in mind to paint it and do something with it. So 'tis the season when the weather turns really crappy. That you can sit down and do things like this, right? And that's what I really love. So anyhow, I've been thinking about doing some stuff and things, you know, so stay tuned, see what I'm up to. I might be making plans for stuff that could be fun for everybody. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here, and I'm gonna finish up my tea, my Earl Grey tea, and we'll be closing up. We're gonna head to the gym for a little bit. That's Stanley Cat. No, he doesn't move around. He just pretty much sits. He just like, yeah. He's nosy, but he's a good boy. Stanley's loss prevention, you know. He's gonna keep an eye. She said he doesn't move, he just sits and watches. It's our cat. All right, friends, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Check back here to the channel to hang out with me live, or like I said, just filming a video around the shop. I don't even know what I'm gonna get into tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me, and go back and watch my last 2 videos if you wanna catch up a little bit on what I've been up to and kind of where I am creatively and what I'm working on. 'Tis the season for cozy art and to stay cozy. All right, friends, take care. Bye.